That's right. Yeah. So a lot of the organizations that I work with came to me because of my project Black Outdoor Art. And the work that I produce is essentially like a flag in the ground. And it helps organizations connect with creatives who share their values. So particularly organizations that are invested in diverse and inclusive spaces, such as the Lyric Theatre in Hammersmith. So I've been designing shows for them for maybe a couple of years now. At the moment, I'm working on about 6 of their upcoming 2023 shows. But this all started with the first show that I designed for them, which was a celebration of blackness, a festival that the Lyric Theatre holds every year. So it's great to see that even though people are attracted to me because of what the work represents, they're able to live up to those values and embody those values in our partnership together. So yeah, it's been great. My name is Greg Bunbury. I'm a graphic designer, a lecturer, a diversity and inclusion consultant, and I run a project called Black Outdoor Art. Well, I'm always interested when I do these speaking gigs of going to places outside of London, and I'm always interested to see how other communities engage with design and creativity and what it means for their area. And never been to Nottingham before, and all I've seen of it is the short walk over from the train station. But already I can kind of see pockets of creativity, and I can see there's a real sort of energy or vibe here. And you know, these facilities and this building is amazing. So it's great to see that there's this kind of, I guess, level of investment in design and what will be, you know, our future change makers and creative leaders. Well, hopefully for the students, it will provide some sort of pathway. And in my experience, I'm much older and I graduated about 100 years ago, but I experienced a large disconnect between what we were taught and the reality of the industry. So a lot of the practices that I developed during the course of my education, I had to relearn when I started working for agencies, when I started working in-house. And my hope is that my input can help students sort of steer that jump more effectively than I did, at least. I think it takes a particular type of kind of mentality going into the creative workspace that might not be immediately obvious. So I think for people like me to come into these spaces and hopefully fill in some of the gaps for the students, I hopefully will be very useful for them. For me, what I tend to do in these talks is I try and deliver everything that I wish that I'd heard when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. And I try and deliver all of the things that would have benefited me at that point, not just in terms of tactics, but really in terms of vision. Creatives are taught tactics all the time. This is what you have to do for your portfolio. This is how you should approach interviews. But we're very rarely taught to how to question spaces. We're very rarely taught how to ask questions of spaces in our environments and what we need from spaces and what we need from employers and what we need from our careers, and what we need from the industry. And that's what inclusivity really is. So hopefully my input here will help students navigate that space more effectively than I did. Okay, so everything I talk about really comes down to one central idea, and that it's creatives are worth, or our worth is dictated by the change and the value that we bring, not by our labor. So if you're merely trading labor for money, it's fine. Many designers do that. Many creatives have done that for years and years and years. In my experience, it's a race to the bottom. The only way forward to make impactful, meaningful creative work is to make work that's based on value in terms of our perspective, in terms of our worldview, in terms of the value that we bring to an organization or a particular group or a particular community. If we're only trading our time for money, eventually we'll either get priced out, or it's very easy. Clients have so many options, employers have so many options. They have Fiverr.com and Upwork and all of these design subscription services. It's a very saturated marketplace. So my thing is really all about individual value, the individual value of the designer, but also realizing that value in the spaces that we place ourselves. I guess my career highlight would have to be the Black Outdoor Art project. Black Outdoor Art is a project that platforms Black British designers and creatives on billboards in London, Leeds and Bristol. It started in 2020 off the back of the rise of Black Lives Matter, but also because due to the pandemic, where there was lots of media space available. And since that, for the past 3 years now, I think we must have done over 100 billboards. And these have been billboards that have been political in nature, they've been challenging in nature, they've been joyous, they've been beautiful, they've been critical, they've been scathing, they've been dark, they've been humorous. And the point of the project really is to express our breadth of experience and trying to get away from this idea of monolithic cultures and really allow people to express their views and perspectives as individual and as varied as they may be, but in a creative way that engages with the community, but also transforms their investment in that community. Because a lot of these billboards are in spaces where the artists and creatives are actually from. And that changes their relationship with the environment. So in a space where perhaps we might feel marginalized or that we have less agency, suddenly this thing appears that's made by us and we're able to connect with it and change, hopefully transform our relationship with our surroundings.